Kalimantan in Indonesian Borneo, May 2010. The environmental activist Nordin is on a journey to save the last remaining rainforests. Instead, he finds a rainforest massacre. The map coordinates are proof. Here, even protected forest is being logged. The Wilmar Corporation of Singapore is behind the clear-cutting. The world's biggest palm oil supplier is expanding its plantations, without regard for legal permits. In central Kalimantan alone, Wilmar has bought the concessions for more than 300,000 hectares of land. The company likes to present itself as a role model when it comes to sustainability and environmental protection. But in September 2010, Nordin found oil palms on illegally cleared land. Many of the areas leased by Wilmar are right in the middle of the rainforest. And here we have an example of how the company cleared land illegally and then immediately planted oil palms. And for the forest back there, they also have a lease, but not a logging permit. This one oil palm clearing alone measures 14,000 hectares. The forest measures just 80 hectares. This is high conservation value forest, but no one is allowed to enter, say the signs posted here by Wilmar. But even the workers admit that Wilmar is no climate protector. Oil palm plantations destroy the climate. It's already very hot here, and all over the world temperatures are rising because the rainforest is disappearing.
And what does that mean for you?
We don't want the oil palm plantations. Our way of life depends on the forest. Between the burnt tree stumps, the Aboriginals plant new oil palms. The seedlings for the next piece of forest have already been prepared. An orangutan has fled to one of the last remaining trees. No one can save him. The ape can't survive in the little forest left standing. The fact that he's still alive is proof that the forest was cleared only recently, and the trail of evidence continues. That's all flowing into the river. Nordin's search turns up proof of more crimes against nature. All the streams and smaller rivers here are contaminated with a reddish-brown liquid that stinks, waste from the production of palm oil. We follow the trail that leads to Wilmar's Mustika Sembulu palm oil plantation. In central Kalimantan alone, the corporation has 18 subsidiaries. For one of these companies, namely the Mustika Sembulu plantation, the corporation has obtained a sustainability certificate. This means that Wilmar is able to sell 360,000 tons of certified palm oil for higher prices on the European market. The certificate is everything. After all, who can say for sure which palm nuts came from which plantation? The nuts have to be processed as quickly as possible. The fresher they are, the more oil they give. The mills run 24 hours a day. Everything ends up on the same conveyor, even nuts from illegally cleared land. The waste is meant to be used as fertilizer. but in reality the majority of it is simply dumped. The only sustainable thing about Wilmar palm oil seems to be environmental destruction. Despite this, they've got a certificate, a greenwashed pack of lies. We're in Jambi on Sumatra. An official sign states that the land belongs to Aboriginals and farmers. Despite this, Wilmar's subsidiary, Asiatic Persada, has built an oil palm plantation here. The Aboriginals live in a slum on the plantation. Their chief refuses to leave. This is the land of our forefathers. Not even the Dutch colonial rulers dared to touch it. But these palm oil bandits simply cleared it. They're doing anything they can to drive us away. But I'm resisting. I'm standing up to them. I'm staying here.
At the World Bank conference, Wilmar said everyone would receive compensation.
That's a lie. I haven't received anything, not one thing. They made all sorts of promises to us in writing, but nothing is actually happening here. They don't speak with us. There's no compensation. In order to survive, the people pick the palm nuts that are growing on their land and try to sell them. It's their good right to do so, but the corporation employs their own sheriffs to police the people.
But they have ownership certificates.
Yeah, I have to report this.
Dia tu buat macam ini. Setelah dia itu istilahnya buat kebun sawit di sini, dibagi ke suku anak dalam di sini.
Even though this was our forest and is still our land today, we, the true owners, are being chased by Wilmar security people, by the police and by the military. They threaten us with weapons. They treat us like prisoners. The sheriffs in black check everything that leaves the village and the oil palm plantation. Wilmar rules its territory with its own laws. The security officers hold the people at ransom. What do you want? This one complains. We're just doing our jobs. We are Wilmar security forces. We have to protect the company. His colleague is already on the phone to the police. 16 men recently discovered what happens when the farmers try to defend themselves. On July 23, 2010, they were arrested and have been in jail since then. The men are exhausted.
How are you?
I'm sick. I can barely breathe anymore.
Are you angry? Are you angry?
Yes, and defeated, because I'm innocent. It's absurd. The farmers have ownership certificates. The land belongs to them. Despite this, they're accused of having stolen palm nuts. It's our right, the farmers say. It's Wilmar that should be on trial. The company sends its manager to the witness stand. He testifies that the farmers are thieves, but that he doesn't know exactly when the theft took place, as he wasn't there at the time. Wilmar will do anything to avoid losing the trial, because that would mean that farmers all over Indonesia would try to reclaim their land, and that would disrupt the palm oil industry. Despite conflicting testimonies about the time and place the farmers remain in prison, conditions behind the high walls are hard. 36 prisoners are grouped in a 20-square-meter cell. Hundreds of Indonesian farmers are in prison because they've tried to take on the palm oil corporations. Meanwhile, Wilmar raves about how it cooperates with small farmers and the many advantages the palm oil boom offers people. The women from Bungku village in the midst of the Wilmar plantation now have to make do without their husbands.
I can't take it anymore. They're suffering so much. The conditions are so hard. What did we do to deserve this?
The villagers are terrorized by the palm oil firms on a daily basis. The village is surrounded by plantations. A small village forest where Miriam gathers rubber is all they have left.
I don't understand why they're doing this to us. Why are they punishing us? We're honest people who've never bothered anyone. Now we're like beggars. A fate that we and our children do not deserve. I don't know what's to become of our children now.
The palm oil mafia is destroying the farmers' livelihoods. They're sacrificing natural rainforests and passing off their operations as sustainable.